was contacted by someone from Wuben company, and she asked me if I was interested in their pen, to review their pen. Now, this is not a fountain pen, it's a ballpoint, but this is no ordinary ballpoint. She described it to me. It's made of anodized aluminum. It has a ballpoint tip, but it also has a capacitive tip and a glass breaker and an inkless pen and lights and a strobe, and it's magnetic. And I thought, whoa, you know, there's a lot going on. So I was expecting something, to be quite frank with you, very gimmicky. But then I got the pen, and I thought, that looks very intense. But then I completely fell in love with it, because this pen is packed with features that all make sense, that are all well thought through, and that really work, including a light. So, I like well-designed products, and this one was a joy. So I'm going to cover the parts of this pen. I'll do a writing sample. It's just a ballpoint, so it'll be pretty quick. And I'll tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it. Let's get started. Okay, here we go with the Wuben E61 pen, the Gecko. There's a lot going on with this pen, and I say that with utmost respect because, as I said, I have become very fond of this pen in the while I have been using it. So, let me first show you the box, okay? And then we'll get into some of the features here. The pen comes in this box. I like this box because it has a lot of specifications on it, which I think is kind of neat. Did I have to say anything about this? No. So we have this cardboard outsleeve, which, can you see this? It's kind of neat, right, too. It's not just solid black. They actually put some detail on this, which I think was quite nice. Then we have this box in it, which I actually thought was pretty cool because it opens up like this, and there is a lot of stuff that comes with this pen. So the pen, if you get it, comes in this box, and you can pull this out, right? Like, okay, we get that part. There's also a blue version of this, by the way. This is the black version. Now, what all do you get with this pen? You get the manual, and I typically don't read the manual for pens, but in this case it's worth it. We have a little quality control stamp. The manual is worth reading, but I have read it for you, so I should be able to reproduce this now. We'll put that away. Then we have two more little boxes. Just taking them out. Okay, I'm just going to put the big box out of the way. This I will come back to. Here we have some more tips and refills. So we have in this little baggie, we have I should take these out. We have the ballpoint refills. I will come back to. You get 4 of those. Okay, they're in my hands. They're pretty tiny, so we'll come to that. And then we have 2 additional tips. We have a capacitive tip, you know, for your devices, like screens, touch screens, and then we have this beautiful inkless pen type tip, which I will try to demonstrate. Hopefully I won't forget. And then we have the actual pen. Now, as I said, there's a lot going on with this pen, so let's go over this. It's a ballpoint, right? This is the size next to a Pilot Metropolitan, so it's about the same length. It's a little longer, but it's a bit girthier, and it looks maybe a bit more intense. Now, what do we have going on in this pen? I'm first going to quickly go over the parts, and then we're going to go over all the functions, because, again, there's a lot going on. So, let's start at the top. At the top of this pen, we have a nice solid clip. It's anodized aluminum, the whole thing, aka aluminium for my European friends. So we have this clip, we have the barrel of the pen, which has many things going on, so we'll get to that. And then we have this, the actual writing part, or other things. So it is writing and others. How does this work? You pull this out, and you can flip the head, push it back in. Now it is a ballpoint. I will do a writing sample, okay? You can exchange these tips quite easily by unscrewing them. That was the ballpoint end. This is a glass breaker, zirconium head. You can take it off, as you can see, unscrew it. You say, I actually want a capacitive tip. Then you can screw in the capacitive tip, and then you can use it with your devices. Or you might say, I want an inkless pen, which I'm going to leave on so I don't forget to show you that in the review. And then you can do that. And then if you want your ballpoint, you just flip it around. So that is quite nice. Nicely textured here as well. These things, in case we were thinking these were some sort of buttons, they're not, although it looks like this could be tightened, which might be useful if you rotate something all the time. I've been playing around with it a lot because this is a very addictive thing to do. Trust me. And so far nothing has come loose. It's not actually loose, so good. Okay, then we have all of this stuff going on. Now, this part is a little difficult to show you, but this round thing is a magnet, and I have attached this to all kinds of ferromagnetic surfaces, and it just clicks into place beautifully. Now, you might say, why is this useful? This is useful in conjunction with the light, because this pen comes with a light. Now, let's see if I remember everything. The light has basically 3 settings. There is a 15, so that's 15. There's a 30, so 30, and a 130 lumens flashlight, and these will burn for 1 hour, 2.5 hours, and 15. Sorry, that's exactly the other way around. 1 hour on 130 lumens. 25 minutes on 30, sorry, 2.5 hours on 30 lumens and 15 hours on 15 lumens light. Okay, I'm going to show you that. Alright, so here we have, this is the button, this W for Wuben, and as you can see, here we have a flashlight. Now, this is the lowest setting. There is a window right there, so this is not going to look very bright. This is the lowest setting. I can increase the brightness by just holding the button. Now we're at 30 lumens, and then I can increase the brightness again by holding it. Now we have 130 lumens. Is it actually 130 lumens? I don't know, people, because I haven't measured this, because I don't have a lux meter, but I can tell you this. On the brightest setting, it has a reach of 8 meters, according to the specifications of the pen, and I will say this, a completely dark room is lit up at the brightest setting. Is it a World War II searchlight? Of course not. But I mean, it is basically a pen light. It just has these 3 LEDs, right? And I will say it's pretty bright. I will see if I can take pictures of this in the dark, but it's always very difficult to take proper pictures in the dark, so I find. Now, you just cycle through these lights by turning it on and holding the button. Okay. Now, another function that the pen has is a blue and red strobe light. You activate that by double-clicking the switch when the pen is on. I'm going to do this. I'm just giving you fair warning. These are going to be flashing lights, so if it is not good for you to look at flashing lights, please look away or close your eyes. I will let you know when they are off screen. Okay? So, I'm going to activate that now. Please be aware. That's it. And these two, you can open your eyes. Sorry, I realized that that's it might suggest that that was over. I know that also, bear in mind this is broad daylight, that doesn't look very bright. In darkness, it's a strobe function that definitely stands out quite a lot. So you can cycle through the lights by holding it, right? And then again, if you double tap that button, then you go to the strobe light, and there is a memory function. So if you end up with a strobe, then that is what will be turned on as soon as you hit the button. I'm just doing this off screen to make sure I don't harm any of my friends. Yes, now it just remembers this brightness setting. If I were to put it on the lowest setting, I switch it off, I switch it on. It's on the lowest setting. If I were to put it on the highest setting, I switch it off, I switch it on. It's on the highest setting, and of course same thing applies to the medium setting. Now, there are a couple of things I wanted to share with you. If you double click, it's not really double clicking at this point, but if you hit this button while the pen is off a number of times, I just did it 3 times, okay? What you get in 3 times, and this is very hard to show you, I'll try to make this a little bit dark. I don't know how well you can see. Now, this W lights up in blue. It's very faint, you may just be able to see it. That is supposed to last for 5 days, just so that you can find your pen in the dark. It's just a very light blue light, okay? So that is the 3, what do you call that, triple tap, I suppose. And you can also turn that off again. I've just activated the light. I have deactivated it, and you can turn that off by triple clicking it again, and now that will be off, right? Because of course it will drain the battery. Now, final thing I wanted to say. We're almost there, but as I said, there's a lot going on with this pen. My friends who think, yeah, but if I carry this in a pocket or something, the light may be activated, it may drain the battery. How right you are. But if you have, I think it was a quadruple tap while the light's off, you get these 3 flashes, and then you have a soft lock. So now, if I press this button, the light will not turn on until I do my quadruple tap again, and then it turns on. So what I'm trying to say is a lot of thought went into this. Now the final thing I'll show you before we do the writing sample is, as if all of this was not enough, you can actually open this up, and then the light being there, let's just activate this. Where's the switch? Here we go, right? It's just on the regular light setting. Now it's at a 90-degree angle, so when you write, you can actually light up what you are writing. You can also turn it 180 degrees, so now it is parallel to the pen, and you can take it one step farther, and then you can put this down flat, and now the light is coming out of the back, and you can light up an area. Of course, this can also be used in conjunction, not like this, but like this with the magnet. The magnet's here, the light's over there. You can stick it to a surface, and as you desire, also bend it while it's stuck to a surface, and you can light up whatever it is you're working on. That's a lot. Then the final thing is that, because I was thinking, where did they put the battery, and how do I replace the battery, because that light, even like 130 lumens, is quite bright, and on 1 hour, that's going to drain fairly quickly. It's rechargeable, and it comes, that's the final box I didn't show you yet, comes with a little cable, which I haven't had to use yet. I've been playing with it quite a bit. It's a micro USB. I always mix up mini USB, micro USB. I think, wasn't it first you had mini and then you had micro? Anyway, it has this type of thing. It comes with the pen. It fits in there. You charge it with the USB port, so you can put it into your device, or you can put it into one of those wall socket things that you then plug the USB cable in. The USB-A. I do remember that one. Okay, and that's it. It all clicks together. This doesn't actually lock, but it's a very solid snap, and I haven't really had this come undone by accident, and again, it looks like you're able to tighten this should it become a bit loose. So again, a lot of eye for detail in my mind. Now let's write with this and then see what I like, what I don't like. So here we have, I mean, it is the Wuben E61 Gecko. It is a ballpoint, so there is no ink colors, there's not going to be any flex, there's not going to be any of that, but it's a solid ballpoint. I mean, solid in many ways. It's not a light pen, right? But you can picture that aluminum is not super heavy, but I mean, still, it's a lot of metal in there. I find it surprisingly comfortable for what it is. I also feel that this is big enough that if you were to use this with gloved hands, I mean, I think what we're going for here is a pen that you can use at construction sites, law enforcement situations, etc. With gloves on, I see no issues in using this because it's girthy enough to be able to do that. I mean, fast writing for what it's worth. I'm not even writing actually. It's a ballpoint. It does that. It's not an ink feed fountain pen type thing, so it's a bit different in that regard. And it comes with this black ink, and then, as I said, it came with, what did I say? 1, 2, 3. I'm just throwing them everywhere now. 3 of these refills, right? Which, of course, it's very easy to replace, right? You just pull this straight out, put it back in. It's very simple. Now, the other thing I wanted to show you, which I thought was quite cool, is that inkless pen. Not quite a scribe tool in a DIY sense, but this is an inkless pen, which is a cool technology that, because this is already quite a long video, I don't want to get into too much. But as you can see, you can write on certain papers. Some certain papers work better than others, and you get others, and you get something that looks a lot like a pencil. So inkless, doesn't run out of ink, lasts for a very long time, and can be useful if, you know, situations are particularly dire. And even a ballpoint doesn't work because it's pouring with rain. Then we always have this. Okay, so the Wuben E61 Gecko. I really like it. Let's talk about what I like about it and what I don't like about it. What do I like? What do I not like about the Wuben E61 Gecko? Well, there's a couple of things that I really like. I'm sure you'll understand that when I initially read about the pen, I thought this sounds very gimmicky, with lights and glass breaker and all that stuff. But in my mind, I've been playing around with this pen for quite a while now. It's a solid pen. Anodized aluminum, has lights. The lights work. They continue to work. It has a strobe. It has different writing modes, like capacitive tip, ballpoint, etc. I'm sorry, it's a solid pen. There isn't a whole lot more I can make out of it. So I really like it. I like the eye for detail, all the different configurations you can use this pen in, the different lights, the different settings, the different quote-unquote writing modes, or at least these heads that you can use. One question you may have is if you use this ballpoint, because the refill is there, can you not put like 2 heads on this that are not the ballpoint? Yes, you can. Here I have just replaced that ballpoint head with that permanent writing thing, and I have a glass breaker on it. It's perfectly fine. You can just take out the refill. I think I said earlier it comes with 3 refills. That's because one jumped out. It actually comes with 4 refills plus a 5th one installed, just so you know. The price, I think, is fairly solid. It's $69.99 US, but bear in mind the different heads, the light, it comes with a charger, it comes with all of that. For me, the biggest attraction to this pen is it's thought through. Everything is thought through. Things can be put away. This glass breaker, for example, is not sharp, so it wouldn't hurt anything in a bag or a pocket or anything along those lines. The light with that soft switch, so you don't accidentally activate it, it's thought through. The magnet set up in such a way that you can click the light into place any way you want, I think is fantastic. It's solid. I'm sorry, I have looked for things to hate about this pen, but it turns out that I really like it. Everything is thought through. Everything is solid. I will say this, if I have to talk about something that I find less optimal, how long do we think one of these refills is going to last? They're very small, they're very short, there isn't a whole lot of ink in them. But hey, it's the way it is. There simply is no space to put a longer refill in it and have this kind of functionality. So it is also a ballpoint, right? It's not a super wet triple broad fountain pen. So I do expect the ink to last quite a bit, but it's not going to be, I'm sure you're not going to be able to write 6 years on a single refill. So who is this pen for? I think of my friends in law enforcement, these kinds of jobs. I think of my friends who work in construction sites. I even think of like car mechanics. You click this to the inside of a hood of a car and you have light, especially on the brightest setting. It's a functional product. I mean, it doesn't have a fire starter or a knife because then it would be a survival product, but it has a lot of functions that I think are incredibly well thought through and they work. I've looked for things to dislike. I couldn't find any. I just think it's solidly made. I'll even say I find it a pretty comfortable pen to hold. And interestingly enough, I find it mainly comfortable not with the clip up, but with the clip to the side. I find this more pleasant to hold than these ribbed bits. And of course, that also aligns well, right? These side bits with the light. It works. Nothing else I can say. So very kind thank you to Wuben for sending me this. It may be a bit of a gadget, but a very practical and well thought through gadget. What else can I say? I like it. I think it's a solid piece.